Alright, this is my 2001 Ford Taurus, and it has many problems, but today we are fixing the hood latch. So, what I did so far is I've taken, there are 2 bolts. This is how the hood latch is on the car, like that. And I've taken 2 bolts. One goes right there to this hole right here, and one goes from this hole to right there. I just have them sitting right there. They are, I forget what they are. They are 8mm bolts, so you will need a metric or an adjustable wrench, I guess, but that will take a while since they are located there, and it's probably best to use a ratchet. So what's wrong with it is actually something I saw in a couple other YouTube videos. Is there's this spring right here, and that spring goes from this hole, or this hole right here, this tiny little slotted hole that I'm sticking my finger through right now, all the way to this hole right here. Alright, so the problem is, the problem is that this spring, you can see it rusted off. There's no more hook on this side, and that is because Ford put a little like rubber seal or something over it, and that means that they were not able to coat it in whatever anti-rust thing, rust proofing they had, so this all rusted. I just sprayed this with a little bit of liquid wrench, hoping it would dissolve some of the rust and get rid of some of the rust. I don't think it's going to work, and I don't think I'm going to reuse this spring because I don't have a car right now to get to the hardware store, so I need a new spring for that. But the way I would fix it is I would take, if I had a spring, I would take that spring and put it right there, and what that would do is it would make it able to, basically this, keep on dropping springs, this latch would be forced into pulling out. So you can see that was barely moving, which leads me to another problem, is that the rust, there's a lot, you can see this arm right here it's really corroded. Alright, so what I've just done is I've taken a little bit of liquid wrench and skunk silicone spray, and I've just kind of been lubricating that a little bit, what I can, and just letting it sit. I don't know which product is better. These are just what's in the garage. Probably WD-40 would be best. So I'll get that. Another thing I might try doing is getting out my wire brush. I'm not sure where that is. It's somewhere in there. Or maybe that's it right there. Oh, that's a brass one. I'll come back when I find it. Okay, so I found my little wire brush. I got these at Harbor Freight. Pretty cheap, because everything at Harbor Freight is cheap. I'm just going to try to kind of get in there the best I can, which I'm not really doing, because the real corrosion is happening underneath this little plate. So I'm trying to get that. I think I might spray a little bit of lubricant on here as well, just to prevent any problems in the future, but that's not really my problem right now. Just this mainly is. So just clean this out. So some other problems that I need to be worked out on the car is the number 3 spark or fuel injector needs to be fixed or replaced. I need to change the oil, and as you can see, mostly right there, rust is pretty much eating up the whole car. So my dad told me I had to get this fixed, so I'm fixing it. So I'm gonna see if that is helping it move at all. Not really. What I'll probably do is I'm just gonna keep spraying this, maybe leave it sit for a little bit, try to put it on so that it flows into the joint like that, so you can see it's kind of flowing down into the joint if I spray it right there. Alright, and I guess since I don't have a car, I will be biking to the hardware store, so I will get back when I get back. So I just got back from the hardware store and I picked up these little springs. And if you guys have to do repairs like this on your own Ford Taurus or anything that has the same latch, I got these at Lowe's, not Home Depot. Home Depot, they either don't have springs or they hide them really well. Lowe's has them much easier to find. I got this one for, these were about $2, and they came in this pack with another spring, so it was about the same size. So when I came back, I checked to see if this little arm was moving, and it sort of is. So I'm gonna put on a glove right now, and I'm gonna try moving that around. It moved a little bit, but still not as much as I liked it. So you can see it still takes a good amount of force, especially when I'm holding a camera, to move it. I just moved it back, and I think I'm just going to try rocking it back and forth until it gets going again. Could try blowing it out with compressed air, but I don't believe that's going to do anything. Try spraying some more of this oil on it. Try to get it nice in there. I'm just going to try to keep on getting this arm moving, so hopefully that will work. So I'm going to keep rocking this and I'll come back if I get it undone. So I've just been rocking this arm right here for a couple minutes, and you can see already all that rust is starting to dump out of the arm. It's moving a little bit now, but still not as much as I'd like it to. So I'm just going to keep on rocking it. I'm going to try to rock it the whole way. So what would be optimal for me is to just take this plate off, but I can't do that because, as you can see, I don't know what kind of bolts these are. So if somebody could tell me in the comments, that'd be great. But they're the ones that you can't unscrew with any tools. You probably need a special tool to get rid of those. So I'm just going to keep on rocking this like that. And maybe grab some paper towel and try to clean off some of that rust/oil that's all pouring out of it. So now I'll just bring the whole roll out. So just kind of wipe some of that up. Oh goodness, that's very black. So just kind of try to wipe all that rust that's coming out of there. So this stuff says that it dissolves rust. I'm really hoping that's true. I think it is, since I've mainly been using this liquid wrench stuff, and it seems to be working pretty good. I didn't have as much of that silicone spray left, so I think it's all just the same stuff though, right? Maybe a little bit different here and there. Oh yeah, but you can see right there, that's just all rust and corrosion pouring out. That was everything that was just inside of that little pivot point right there. So now that's moving pretty freely. If it's not, then I'll just keep on rocking it. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this spring, and this probably isn't the right spring for the job since it doesn't really have a hook. It'll still go on there, but it'll just be a little bit tougher. And so, kind of, let me see, how can I set this camera? So I'm just going to try to get it in there. Oops. Just try to get this spring in there. Okay, I'm going to put the camera down for a second. Okay, so mistake I made. These springs are actually, I believe they're called extender springs, and they, instead of having a hook at the end, they have these little loops, which I thought I could just put over the the holes, but I guess not. So what I ended up having to do is just kind of bending new hooks. Don't ask about that top one. It's fine. If you buy the springs with actual hooks on the ends, then you should be fine. But if you do end up going with these springs, I got these because these were the closest thing to the spring that was on the car. I just got a pair of needle nose pliers, and I just kind of bent the loop outwards so that it'll hook around here nicely. So I think I'm going to take this kind of weird end and put it on this end of the lever. So I'm just going to try to stick that in there. Come on, get in there. Alright, I guess gotta bend it a little bit. So by bending it, I just sort of take it and just like that. Don't know if that came over the camera. Hopefully it did. And I will take this end and put it right there, and the spring is too short, I believe, maybe, I don't know. Well, actually it doesn't look like it's too short at all, and it's moving freely now. So I think I'm just going to spray this a little bit more because I want to make sure I get all the stuff out of there. Probably using a little bit more than I really need to. But as you can see, this lever is now moving, you know, really freely. So when I'm done with this, I'm just going to keep moving it over and over. And yeah, I'm just going to keep moving it over and over until I'm happy with how loose it is. Probably clean up the oil around it. Uh-oh. Almost dropped the spring into the engine. That would not probably would just go onto the ground, but hell, it still leaves the chance that something could go wrong. And just get the last of that oil out of there. Not the last, but as much as I can out of there. It probably doesn't matter if it just stays in there. And then I am just going to take this and put it back where it was. I just have these bolts right here and a socket wrench, which I don't know where I put that, and that is a problem. But that's basically how you do it. The last steps would just to be put these bolts in right here, but you know, hell, a monkey could figure it out. So I got this all bolted up, just these two bolts right here, and I put a little bit more lubricant right in there in this little lever right here, just so it would make it, I don't know, maybe more lasting. So let's see if it works. Slammed it a little hard, but there we go, now it works. And if we come in and open it up, it opens up. Good job, Paul.